Hi, it's Chris, and it's July 27th. It's Tuesday, but it's my Monday motivation. And thanks for being patient with me. Yesterday, I was hostage at the bank. I went in for what I thought was a quick transaction, and it went quite a bit later than I expected. So I am here on Tuesday, but we're still going to celebrate my Monday motivation. So if you're watching me, be sure to leave an emoji or leave a comment. I'll get back and answer all everybody's comments, and I just love it because Facebook and YouTube know then that you want to hear what I have to share. And today's Monday motivation is blinging up our rainbow, build a rainbow die from Close to My Heart. And I love this wonky die. Just a tip, when I cut it so that I cut one of each color. And then as you can see, I just go ahead and color coordinate it to make sure that there's one rainbow of each. But this way, I'm basically ready to make 4 cards. So instead of running through each die individually, if you go ahead and run it through on one big square, you can run all 4 dies at once, and it's great. And I can even cut 2 layers at a time. So really within 2 passes, I've made enough for 4 cards. So I really love this Build a Rainbow die. It is in the online only section, and what you don't know is, or maybe you do, but today is Close to My Heart's virtual convention. So many makers are online right now getting a sneak peek at the next base catalog. So I'm really excited to see next month what awaits us. It'll be great. Now, the current catalog does go through the end of August, so don't miss out. If there's something that you really want, make sure that you get it because it will be while supplies last only. So let's go ahead and get started. And what do I mean by blinging up my rainbow? And I saw on Instagram some really lovely ideas, and I want to share them with you. So I'm going to kind of push my rainbows over to the side. Hopefully I can keep them together. And these rainbows are obviously beautiful on their own, but I think what I want to do is add some little bit of extra interest. So I'm going to go ahead, and I have a glue bottle. I'm just using some Scotch adhesive. I do have my tweezers to make it easier if I want. I'm going to just show you how quickly this is. This is our fine tip applicator. We did have it for the liquid, like the liquid glass, and so it works great on the tip of a glue bottle too. I'm going to go ahead and put that down. I want to make sure that I leave room for my sentiment, and I'm going to put a sentiment right down there. So while that's kind of gluing, I'll just put a block on it to hold it as I get the next one ready. And my glue bottle, it looks like might be getting towards the end, but I can still squeeze out a little bit. And go ahead. And since I have these all pre-cut, you can see how quickly I could make 4 cards. I love it. So Melissa is here watching today, and she said Monday is Tuesday's greatness. Awesome. And I always love a rainbow. Yesterday we had a big huge storm with lots of thunder and lightning, but it was a good thing because we really needed it. So I don't know about you, but I'm always okay with a thunderstorm, especially at night. I love the sound of it. So I know our dog Walter would sometimes get scared though of a big storm, unfortunately. So dogs are always not that keen on it. All right, so I'm going to set this aside to let it dry for a minute, and then I want to show you what my idea is. I have the new Smiles from the Garden. This is in Close to My Heart's latest catalog supplement. It's the July-August. And I bought the set with matching thin cuts. So you can see it's a pretty good deal. You get all of these stamps, and the matching thin cut dies. So I went ahead and cut out this small butterfly. And I've already pre-cut those. And I decided that I'm going to just go ahead and stamp them in purple because I think purple will go with this rainbow palette. So I just need to get my stamp off. And I don't have a die cut for this dark solid one. That would have been nice too. So I'm just going with this little bit of an outline butterfly. And I hope it'll look good. I haven't pre-made this card, so if you know me, a lot of times I don't pre-make my card. I kind of come into this with an idea. So that shows you my thought pattern, and you see when things don't always work, and that's okay. That's life, I guess. The scary thing is I also do that with recipes. So there I missed my butterfly a little bit. Sometimes stamping under the camera, I don't line things up properly. Plus, with my bifocals, I just get a little bit out of whack. But that one worked out perfect. I'm not sure if I flip that bad one around, if I can still use it. Let's see. Sometimes with thin cuts, I don't know if you know that, but it's the same on either side, so they're symmetrical. So that one's a little bit better. But it's not perfect. I could probably hand cut it. Just going to take my time to get these down quicker, better. And then I'll show you a revelation I had after I had die cut these. So that's basically my idea. And then my idea was based on, of course, the card that I saw on Pinterest, was to go ahead and put some of these butterflies fluttering over the rainbow, which kind of, I like it because, you know, you've got the rainbow, but then you've got a little something extra. So let me put my stamp away before I lose it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue these down because I like the way they look. And I can always go back and touch it up after the video. But this way you're going to see the finished card for once. And so again, if I want to die cut these, I can go back and re-stamp them. I think I'm going to use this Uggy side and just redo that one. And by doubling it up, I'll actually have a little bit more dimension. So that's not really a bad thing. I could also change out the colors of some of my butterflies so that, you know, they're not all purple. But I like having this tweezer. I can just quickly put a little dab of glue on. Can change the direction of the butterflies so that they're not all facing the same way. And they don't have to all be on the same color either. They can be in a little bit like that. So now I just have to decide for a sentiment. And I have the Sunny Days Ahead, which was a stamp set that was designed to go with these Build a Rainbow dies. It didn't come together, but you could use it together. And then, of course, I have this sentiment here that comes with the Smiles from the Garden, and it says, "You make me smile, each day is a new beginning, and you brighten my day." So I think that because of the butterflies, I think I'm going to go with each day is a new beginning. And I could stamp it in the purple to go with the butterflies, but I think I'm going to just keep it with the black ink. And hopefully I get a nice crisp image now that I've gone ahead and glued everything down. Some people like to stamp their sentiment first, and others just kind of go for it. So here we go. Nice. Came out great. And so this is a really simple, clean and simple card, but look at how cute and look at how fast it is. I could make 4 of these cards just like that. So our tweezers are really, really nice. Melissa said that she had misplaced hers but found them, so she's happy. We finally did have Close to My Heart bring them back again. So if you have not tried our tweezers, those are well worth it. Well, so while I was die cutting those butterflies, and I wasn't sure would they be too big for the rainbow or not, I had a backup idea. And I was running my butterfly die through, and I said, wait a minute, I've got all these butterflies and these little flowers, because my second idea is to do a rainbow with some flowers. And I do have a flower die from Amuse Studio Days, but here is one more use of your beautiful butterfly background die from Close to My Heart. I popped out these little flowers and a little bit of a greenery, and I'm going to try that on my rainbow. But I also have butterflies that I've saved. So when I run my die through, I just go ahead and save the different punch outs. So I can make a card using this, and I don't even have to stamp it. So we're going to try that. So I have a little pot full of those, and then I did pre-run some flowers. So let's go ahead and do one more butterfly card, and then we'll try those flowers and see what we get next. So if you missed my Monday motivation last week, it was all about this butterfly background die, and so I'm really excited to find yet again another use for it. So here we go. Let's go ahead and use, I think this one would be really pretty. I'm going to use this one next. Actually, I want to use this blue because the white I think is going to pop on these nicely. So again, I'm going to just quickly add some glue to it by weighting it down. It doesn't take long to stick to the paper. And by having a fine tip applicator, I'm able to put on the glue pretty thinly and not worry about it blobbing out everywhere. I'll put my and I'll definitely need the tweezers for these next bit of butterflies because they are even smaller than the last one that I just did. All right, so I'm going to just press that down. Hopefully I got enough glue on there. So I'm in my last week of summer school. Things have been going great. And that gives me 2 weeks before we go back to school for the fall. So I don't know where summer went. I can't believe it's the last week of July already. And I can't believe that we're getting ready for a new Close to My Heart catalog. So I want to say that that last core catalog has probably been one of my favorite yet. A lot of times we overlook the core catalog, but there were so many beautiful papers in it this year, and lots, like the wood grain paper, I would say, if you haven't checked that out, or the birthday party paper, it's really great. So I'm just going to go ahead and pluck out some of these white butterflies. I have lots of those because I've been cutting a lot of white daisy layers of the background die. So this is just a little cup from the dollar store, but they're handy. You can see in here too, I even have some holographic pieces that I saved because you don't want those to go to waste. So those would look really shiny and pretty on my rainbow. That would really be blinging it up. But right now I'm going to just stick with these white butterflies because I think the colors are so pretty. All right, I'll set that aside and just go ahead and quick glue them on. Again, I picked a rainbow that had some darker colors towards the yellow and the green. I think that will make this white really show. And you're watching me trying to squeeze glue out of a glue bottle that I know it has it. Yikes. I think maybe because I left it open for a second. All right, so, and I probably want to just dry fit these so that I know before I plop them down how I want them to look. But this card's going to be really pretty. So you can see it's just a totally different look, but you don't even have to stamp them. All right, so This time I'm going to just go direct. So what are your favorite colors to use for a rainbow? Are you a traditionalist where you really only do the true colors of the rainbow, or are you like me that you are a little bit more liberal in that and you'll go ahead and do some other colors? I just like to look at what paper scraps I have and use them up. So now I'm going to use a different sentiment just because we don't want to make it the same. And this one can say, you make the world a better place, which is awesome. And it's just another really quick card. This one was even probably quicker because I already had those pieces cut, and there you go. So this is my second card. So the first one involves some stamping of the butterflies, and it's a little bit more cutesy. And then this one, I used just those little pieces left over from our butterfly background die. And now for my last card, I'm going to use the flowers from that background die. I'm going to just put that aside. And before I go too far talking about rainbow colors, here's one that I just cut out of pattern paper as I was looking through my scraps. So this is very, very pastel, but I think that this might look pretty with those white butterflies too. I'm going to try that one later. So it's fun to just kind of go through scraps and cut a whole bunch of rainbows right away, and then you can set up a assembly line. But I have a lot of thank you notes to get out, so that's my goal, to keep going with these. All right, well, let's try the last rainbow that I want to create with these little flower cutouts from the the butterfly background. So I took some little scraps and I just laid them over the areas that I wanted, and then I ran it through my my embossing machine. I have a Vagabond now, but you could also just keep whatever you have left over in a cup and just sort through there, because I do have some beautiful holographic and I have some blues and some pinks already in there. So I'll be looking at this cup to do other projects. All right, so for my last rainbow, I think I'll just go with this blue. I'll go ahead and just repeat that process. You're watching me do a lot of gluing today and not a lot of stamping, but hopefully that's okay. Appreciate you watching, and I hope that this gives you ideas on even taking some other dies that you might have and say, okay, what can I do to layer this up? What can I do to just add more interest to it, or just to totally change the look? I love being able to stretch what I have and use it for more than one way, because I just think that that makes it a better value, and I am all about value. All right, so we're getting quickly putting this last one together. Since my glue is now finally running again, that helps. And last rainbow. All right. And that one does need to set for a second. So as it sets, I'm going to start thinking about, I purposely used a different green and a different blue and a different pink so that they would show on this, and I hope that that's going to look nice. I'm going to go ahead and lay out just some of my flowers. I'm thinking I might have to snip some of the greenery, and that one wants to pop up. Oops. I'm going to leave that down for a second. Put in a couple of pink ones in there. I don't want too many because the pink maybe won't show up. I'll slide that over. And then I have one of these little tiny ones here. And I have a little blue one also, so that looks pretty. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some greenery to make that pop. And I would probably tuck that in underneath. So I'm going to dry fit it real quickly so I know where I have some wiggle room. Usually I try and do these things off camera so you're not painfully waiting for me to finish it. But, and I might even just glue part of it just to give you an idea though. So I have a little bit of this greenery, and that too comes from that background die, which is nice. And then I did cut a couple of these little tiny leaves that are going to be a little bit more fussy to put on. But if I have a little glue in the corner, I can just dunk those and put them in. Well, let's go ahead and just start doing that. And like I said, I think I might, this is some scratch paper. I think what I'll do is put a little blob of glue and then use that and just touch it and then lay it down, which is a good technique for gluing too. It helps when you have tweezers like that. So again, you can see this is a great way to use up some scraps. I know that I am a scrap hoarder, unfortunately, so for me it really feels good to use this up. I'm gonna put this one in here and go ahead and just put a little glue there. And I think that I'm gonna have, I have extra blue flowers. I think I wanna have that one layered a little bit. Give it a little interest. All right. So you can see this is just gonna take a little bit of fiddling, but because I dry fit it, it won't be too bad. The key is to have enough glue where you can keep dunking it in. To try and put it on the back of this might be a little bit harder. So I'll just do that. But I hope this gives you a great idea if you have these Build a Rainbow thin cuts, or you were thinking about getting them, but you thought, how much will I use them? This gives you a whole nother look. And it's really pretty easy. Plus, if you have some flower dies, you can look in your stash and see what you have there. I'm gonna go ahead and try one of these little leaves, and then I won't make you watch any more of me fitting that, but look at how cute that leaf is. That really does add to it. I'm glad I cut a few of those out as well. Just trying to get a little bit of glue. So you'll have to let me know which is your favorite. Do you like the flower or do you like the butterflies better? There we go. So I'm just going to finish that up then off camera, and I'll be sure to come back and share the finished cards. So we have two different butterfly looks, and we have a flower. Melissa mentioned sequins. You know what? You could even do some sequins on here. That would probably make it really shine and sparkle even more. But I hope that this just kind of gets you motivated, looking at your scraps, looking at your dies, and I'd love to see what you come up with. So thanks for tuning in on today's Monday Motivation. It's all about stretching your dies again and making those rainbows even more unique. So, and don't forget to let me know which was your favorite, butterflies or flowers. Thanks for tuning in and have a great week. I'll see you next week for my next Monday Motivation. Bye.